So in the morning session, Lee had expressed this huge physical pain, and in opening into it all the way without any separation of mind, the revelation was that the pain is love. Most everyone in here has had many, many instances of the grace of fully opening. And the byproduct, no matter what the idea was prior, the revelation is always the same. Can be to the absolute shock of the mind, can be found in the most profane of acts, because the hand that is driving every act is one hand. And what is impossible for the limitations of the mind to see is revealed when the opening into is all the way. It is something that is so rare, even in spiritual circles. Most are driven to get away from something. But when there is the learning how to open all the way, the byproduct begins to nurture a trust that is deeper than anything that can be understood. Because this trust is rooted in a true recognition that every single thing is the offering of pure love, pure grace. And the more threatening it may seem, the more trust is required. For the only thing that can feel threatened is what you are trying to free yourself from anyway. And in this ability, this growing ability to receive, the guaranteed byproduct is the opening of the path of the bhakti, the path of pure devotion. Because what pure devotion is devoted to is not some circumstance or someone. It may begin looking like someone. But what pure devotion is devoted to is love. It is devoted to love. It is so incredibly safe. It's so true. It becomes so clear that what is most important is not my awakening. This is necessary in the beginning. But what recognizes itself to be of greatest importance is love. The thing of it is, it must be tasted in order for this to open. In order for the true trust to begin. But it lies in the simple feeling of your own heart. If the story is, I do not really know what it is, just to stay with it. When there is the willingness to receive, it all takes care of itself. And most all of you know very well about this. When there is true devotion to love, what is offered in this devotion is the separate one. That becomes the offering, because that is the only obstruction. And every time that is humbled in the offering, the taste of this beauty deepens. And eventually its burning becomes your passion. And your passion is the devotion to love itself, which begins to be tasted in every single thing. It is not that the separate one eventually gets something. It is that the experience of the separate one becomes prasad for the beloved. Eventually, the conditioned need to protect the character is consumed in the trust that arises out of the recognition of the love. And then that one is devoured. Such incredible freedom when this trust overpowers the habit of protection. When the devotion to love becomes more important than me. And what occurs is something that everyone already intuitively knows, is that the only thing devoured is the suffering. And you were let out of the cage. You know, this ego's final desire, its final desire is to be prasad, to be devoured. Not to get enlightenment, not to be free of something, but out of pure devotion, not to someone or something, but devotion to love itself.